So prior to the brown sugar video, we were about to take the Pro Mod to the track. Took it out in the parking lot just to kind of like test it, shake it down, make sure a lot of the stuff works. You guys will see a lot of people go to the racetrack and they'll pull up to the line and they have all these issues. I try to avoid that. If I'm gonna have issues, which do occur, I'd rather have them here at the shop. Then we can push it back inside. Saves you a bunch of time, saves you a bunch of money. You don't have to go to the track to do it. You don't have to look like an idiot in front of people, except I film it and I look like an idiot in front of you guys. But that's really just the nature of the beast when doing this stuff. That's why you test things. Stuff's going to go wrong. You're going to have issues. You're going to have to correct them. This time, the issue was with our transmitting. And now we are in here, pull the transmission, doing like legit Pro Mod things. This is what every Pro Mod guy looks like. They're like, oh yeah, something's wrong with the transmission, just pull it out and fix it. Well, that's what we're doing. So what we have here is a screw-blown Hemi. We have a Bruno drive, which is a converter drive for a Linko CS2 transmission. They are very temperamental. If you guys have ever seen the shifting procedures to go from forward to reverse, to neutral, to reverse, to forward, pain in the ass.
Yep.
A lot of button pushing, things have to work correctly. It's essentially a converter drive to replace a clutch for a straight drive style transmission, is what it is.
Yep, so it's just, it's got a pump in there and a band for the trans brake, and it just drives it. So, it's not a bad setup, but the Linko, the reverser, does have some to be desired. They make some billet reversers. We're probably going to go to a Turbo 400 eventually, but right now we're trying to go racing, and this thing's broke. We need to fix it. So the band, you use a Turbo 400 style band inside this transmission. There's the band adjustment right here.
So the band is pretty much just like a big round clutch that holds a drum, so it squeezes in and stops the drum from spinning.
Yep, stops it from rotating. It's got a big pneumatic cylinder right here. Applies air pressure to the band, tightens it down on the drum, can't spin. That way John can shift it forward and reverse. So if that band's not holding and it tries to shift forward and reverse and the thing's running, then it can break the reverser, which we'll be tearing it apart and showing you guys. One of the problems is you got to pull this off, pull that rear section off to replace the band. Well, these Allen
they're all stuck.
Yeah, they're in there. So we had some hardened Allen keys, couldn't get them out and everything. So now we're going to phase 2 of Allen bolt extraction.
Weld a nut to it.
Yeah, weld a nut to it, zip it out, and we'll have to replace all those.
So there's a couple reasons why we had a failure. A couple people commented and said, hey, they run more CO2 pressure than we do. This regulator only goes to 125 psi. We are at 125 psi. I've seen a couple people in the comments say, hey, they have these style transmissions in their cars. I assume they have Pro Mods or something. They say they run 200 psi on the Bruno drive, and then the AirPods, they run 150 psi, which is fine. We can totally do that, but we don't have the equipment to do it. So we just cranked as much as we can out of it, and that's what we've been running at. Also, we don't know the condition of the Bruno drive before we got it. It could have needed a band adjustment or something like that.
Yep. So we had some issues with the two-step 2. Whoever wired the grid, they cut and spliced some wires instead of like, hey, we're gonna keep a blue wire. It's like blue to red, so it's got the.
It's shitty.
Yeah,
it's shitty.
It just needs.
We're in the Band-Aid stage. So pretty much, like when we got the car, it's supposed to be all wired up, fresh, updated, and like they just installed the grid. Like when I say they installed it, they bolted it to the car, and that was it. They didn't really wire it up. So
they tried to wire it up.
They didn't successfully do it. So we're going to the track next Sunday or next Saturday to race Big Tire and JJ's arm drop, and we just need it running. It's not desirable. If we were going to have it, it would be on MST 600 and all that stuff. We don't have the time. We've been working on 3 cars. I got a bunch of cars in the shop. Matt and I and David have really been in the shop for 2 weeks straight. We've been staying like in the toter. Like we've just been sun up, sun down, working days and nights, working double shift, trying to get, this is a lot of work. And we film maybe 5% of the work we actually do. There's so much work to be done. So Matt's going to get to welding here with that new torch. How's that new torch feel? The new gun.
Feels good. Get a good angle here. Got my safety shorts on. Got our safety fire jacket.
It's kind of like
grab that.
It's kind of give me the gun. It's pretty disrespectful because The Allen keys would not get it out, but the impact with the nut welded on it.
Well, it's a combination. So whenever you do this, you got a lot of things working for you.
You get it red hot.
You get the bolt super red hot, and that alone would probably do it. We can't. The problem with heating this up, if you had an inductive heater or something you could plug in there, they make some Allen ones that you could plug in there and heat it up. Of course, we don't have that, so this is next best thing. But if you could get just the bolt red hot, you could probably get it out with an Allen key. But heating it up with a torch, this whole entire case would just be
cooked.
Yeah, it would be like right now, not too bad, enough to where
you get it hot and you rip it out real quick.
Yep. So we're trying not to damage the O-ring. You know, finding an O-ring around here is going to be a pain in the ass. We got some parts for the CS2.
Jason Harris down the road is our man.
He's gonna hook us up with some stuff. We got Todd Totoro, so if we really need some parts, I'm sure he'll have some of them. But hopefully we just take it apart, swap the band. We have a band here, and take the reverser apart and see.
Hopefully the reverser's not damaged. We think it is damaged, but we hope it's not. So, all right, well, Matt's gonna get back to welding this stuff up. I'm gonna put the camera on the charger for a minute. We're gonna get some work done and give you an update here in just a few moments.
Alright, got all the bolts out. Now this has some place for some jack bolts here. Thread in, and this is all new for me, so hopefully when I take this out the magic doesn't come out of it.
Yeah.
Springs and check balls and
the first time messing with one of these.
Yeah.
Prefer a 400. Why do you prefer a 400? Tell them why. Because you maintenance them once a year opposed to once an event.
Once a race. I mean, I think these would be okay with the, you know, the reverser. I didn't know much about these, but I knew just from everybody talking that the reversers just suck. And that's one thing that I was just never a fan of because, you know, I'm not saying that you can't. Ooh. Ooh.
Is it cooked?
No.
Oh, we're trying to reuse it. Damn, some more TV and we'll be back at it.
Yeah.
Damn, bro. Look at the bottom. You got a flashlight in here? Look at the color of the fluid. Blech.
See some.
Hold on, go back. Go back the other way.
Some bearings in there.
Yeah.
Take that.
Take this light. I'll trade you. Come look at our new color. You guys can get this over at Nasty Wraps. It's called Metallic ATF.
Yeah, or reverser red.
Not supposed to look like that. So this is right here is going to be the tail of the tape. The reverser's broken or not. I've never seen inside one of these.
I've never seen a side one either, but I'm assuming if it looks broke, it probably is.
A picture of me shows up.
Huh?
Is that the reverser?
Huh? Oh yeah. You see how it looks like you've been grinding on it? The teeth, how they're not perfect? Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
That's the reverser.
Is it still draining?
Yeah.
Can you? This has to go into here, but since that's all ground down, so when that thing, you heard it go,
That was that.
Yep.
Well, I didn't hear it, but I felt it.
You heard it with your hand.
So this right here is not smooth anymore. It's got like a... It's all crusty.
Yeah, and if you're ever curious on what section's what, the reverser section says reverse.
And the others are just the same with just different ratios, huh?
Yeah.
What a pain in the ass. I mean, honestly, this thing don't have shit compared to a 400. Oh. You're leaking it down.
It's still bound. Oh yeah.
Let me put a hand on it.
Where are you going with it? Out? Yeah, I know, but afterwards.
On the ground.
Well, we ain't got no rags, drain pan. Just let
But that cardboard box right there, under
do
it.
that and just let it chill for a second.
What all comes out with it?
What's that?
Holy shit. Not good. CJ, look at this.
That's where the AirPod presses on there, and then
Dude, it's heavy as shit.
it's got some springs and shit in there. I don't think that's supposed to come out like that, but
No.
it did now.
No, this was... I feel like the seal was supposed to stay in there.
The O-ring?
Like this whole metal piece?
That's because the rear, the tail shaft, but you gotta like compress it to get the other snap ring off.
So what do you want me to do from here? Oh, you're saying you gotta take the snap ring off and
you
then
gotta push it this way, take the snap ring off, and then it all comes out.
Well, now what?
I don't know. Take it over to the transmission teardown bench. So this goes in here, and the way this works is this has got a wedge piece on it right here. I'm just assuming, but it's got a wedge piece right here, and it's got these rollers. And when you put the AirPod on there, it applies that wedge, slides this apart, which compresses the band and causes your high gear and low gear to actuate. So, or not actuate, because this is like direct drive, and then whenever the band is pushed on there, then you have the action of the planetary as well. So it changes your ratio. So, pretty simple. Don't see no burn up shit.
No.
Oh, that's some shims. Keep those together. I see a sprag in there. I see our other. Yeah, I'm not really sure. That's got a. I wonder if it's got like a wave washer or something that's supposed to press down. Because there's no way that you can get that snap ring off. You want to bring the camera over here and maybe try to zoom in? So this is the piece that's damaged, and here's our snap ring, but there's no way to open the snap ring, and
Because it's locked in there.
yeah, it's in there. So
Is that supposed to just pull off and it's damaged?
Yeah.
And it's stuck on there now?
well, no, it's not. No. So the snap ring holds it, and it's splined on the inside, and the spline's engaged right here on the south side. So, but it should push together somehow. Might need to have like a pushing apparatus. Get a really, really big socket.
A pushing apparatus? Alright guys, putting it back together. There seems to be nothing wrong with anything over here really, right Matt? You're pretty happy with how everything looks?
Yep.
Just gonna snap it all back together. We cleaned up the reverser a little bit, nothing was broken. So what are we thinking if there are any failures?
Maybe not any gear.
Maybe it just wasn't in gear. That we got our band soaking for the Bruno drive. Just plugging away, chipping away at it. All right, we have a transmission back together. What do you think, Matt?
Just ready to transmit.
This or 400? Your choice.
Oh, 400 all day. 'Cause, I mean, we can build 400s in house too. So.
Yeah. This thing right here is going to be for sale very shortly. Bruno drive and this transmission. We just inspected this whole thing and there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, no, it was good. CS1.
So, yeah. Also, we thought it was a CS2. It's a CS1. So, yeah. Other than that, it's pretty good. We got our band soaking here to go in the Bruno. Stick it back in there and try it, I guess. More pressure on the brake, more pressure on the shift pods, correct band adjustment.
We got the transmission back together. We think correctly. So we're gonna be installing this bad boy and doing some stuff, try to get the band in it. Got our band soaking. Should be good to go now. Toss that bad boy in. Went to Lowe's, got some hardware. They amazingly had it, so good to go there. Maybe try to clean that out a little bit. Little clutch material-y. So we'll probably toss all this back together up here, pull the pan and clean the pan out, check the filter, make sure there's no clutch material down there, fill it full, put the Linko back in, toss the dry shaft back in, and hopefully have a running and driving Pro Mod. Got Chris over here supervising. What you think? Ain't looking too hot, is it?
It's either gonna work or not.
Yep. Well,
hopefully work.
Yeah, hopefully work. We'll see. Got Ava over here somewhere. She's putting in work. So, all right. Alright, here we go. We got our converter drive and our band in there. You kind of see the band, and I can actuate it. It's got the pneumatic cylinder right here. Presses on a rod. It's got your lugs here that lock it down. So I'm going to engage the trans brake. I'll be spinning this thing. It grabs it. It allows it to turn. So that's what stops the transmission from turning, just like in a car with a trans brake. It has that band that applies it. So that's gonna be able to allow the transmission to shift from forward to reverse and neutral. So hopefully everything's adjusted correctly. The band seems to be fitting in there good, and we'll toss the Linko in there after we get the cover on and maybe crank it. Alright, so we got it all put back together. Got some bolts in it. Got the Linko back in, hooked to the Bruno drive, shifters. Got the shift forward and reverse selector adjusted correctly. It was adjusted incorrectly. Pulled the tranny pan off, and we found some stuff that is not the best. So here it is. Inside, looking a little rough there. Most of that was from the band. We cleaned a lot of it out, a little bit of metal, but we have the so these things, they have a couple different pans. They have one that's like 1.5 quart capacity, and this one's 5 quart capacity. So this one is a deep pan. It has a spacer on here. All right, well, this filter goes on there, spacer, filter block, spacer adapter deal and some bolts to go up there. One of the bolts was very loose, and the other bolt was too long. So this spacer was just kind of wobbling in there, sucking air all between there. That's why there's this gasket material is kind of like half on there, because it just probably got sucked all in the Bruno drive. So that could have been an issue, because that would have had our converter charged. I mean, it would have been starving the converter for fluid. Call it, oof. Whoosh. Damn. John really knows how to mess him up. Need to teach that guy how to learn how to hold a trans brake button. What you think about it?
It's pretty messed up, but we'll get it right.
Yeah. Professional Linko and Bruno drive experts. If you have a Linko or a Bruno, mail it to us, and we will be able to probably break it more than it's currently broke. And then we'll mail it back to you in just a bunch of parts in just like a big cardboard box. Seems like a good deal to me. I wish that the car had a bolt together converter. If it had a bolt together converter, we could remove the Bruno drive, pull the converter out of it, and then we could clean the converter out, make sure everything's good, slap it back together, and be good to roll. That is one of the advantages of having a bolt together converter. Not just for stator changes, but for situations like this where you get burnt down and you have to clean it and everything, because just like the vet, we just had to send the vet off, and they had to cut the converter apart and do a bunch of stuff, and it took a couple weeks. If you had a bolt together converter, you could service it right here, right now, today, not have any issues. You know, we have the Torrington bearings, we have parts for it, we have O-rings, everything you need to clean the converter we have. So, but this one is a weld together converter, so there's really no point. You can spray some WD or brake clean down in it and slosh it around, but there's no way to get all the clutch material and debris out of it. Alright, so we got all our sections filled up. We got our reverser section, both planetaries, and now we're filling up the Bruno drive. So it's 5-quart pan, so we're gonna pour 4 in it, and we'll check the fluid level. Hopefully be close. I got another gallon jug over here just in case. I'm not really sure how much is in the converter. Probably need to crank it up and check it, but it's a whole lot to go on, so we're gonna do that. We'll check it right here. We're gonna put the bottom pan on. We got to modify it because they didn't cut the carbon piece big enough to where you get the trans pan out with the carbon belly on it. So we're gonna trim it like another 3/8 of an inch, and then that way you can drop the pan up and down without having to remove the belly pan. Give it a good once over. Get it off the Pro Jacks. I know a lot of people are like, oh, just crank it on the Poor Jacks. Well, you're not supposed to run these things in the air for some reason. I don't know why. I've had a couple guys tell me don't run the Bruno in the air with it spinning. So we're going to get it down off the ground and crank it up. It's a little late. I'm not really worried about it because, you know, if your neighbors are mad that you're cranking a screw blown Hemi on Sunday, then they're probably not that great of neighbors anyway. Alright, just me and Chris out here. It's about 2:30 in the morning. We're going to be firing this bad boy up, make sure the transmission's good, make sure that the trans brake engage, maybe make sure the two-step works. Chris is going to be starting it. He hasn't started it before, so it's going to be a new one for him. I haven't driven the car. I've been in it sitting, but I haven't actually moved the car, so it's going to be a learning experience for me too, but we're going to get it done. Alright, so here's a starter. It's a RCD starter. Inside this box right here, it was arcing like hell, so I don't really know what's going on inside that, but I'm assuming it takes this 3/16 right here, and we'll jerk that out. So we had one. Sorry, tools are everywhere. We've been thrashing, you know how it goes. You just kind of throw them down, clean them up later. Here, if you want to hold that, I'll
This is like Jackass race team version.
yeah, well, Sloppy Mechanics Pro Mod version.
Something like that.
You're gonna have to. You're gonna have to
Stick it on there and
roll it.
twist it.
Yeah, get. Got it? Do it.
It's rough in there, ain't it?
Damn, sounds so good, it made me cry. All right, we got a pro mod again. Trans brake worked, two-step worked, reverse worked, forward worked. It's working. I think we're good to go. Starter.
We don't have a cool starter no more.
we now it's a two-person job. So we're gonna go probably get some stuff from RCD or RBS Supercharger or Alka Digger. Somebody that's got external starter parts. We'll go ahead and I'll put new brushes in and I'll rebuild it, get that thing cranking over good. But it looked like it fired up quick once it was fired up. So
I think that was the issue from the beginning.
yeah, just slow cranking. Damn, I'm excited. Didn't know shit about a Bruno, didn't know shit about a Lenko. We jumped in there, we tore it down, we figured it out. It's kind of how some racing is. You just, just do it, look at it until, yeah, it's messed up, this isn't messed up, try to fix it. Like I said, trans brake works, two steps working now, got all that figured out with the MSD. That is a good, it's probably my fault. I should have just unwired the whole entire thing. They wired a bunch of it up and they should have, it looked like they did a decent job on that, but whenever they started splicing short sections of wires with different colors, and then those colors just happened to match the colors that it was supposed to be, to where, I look at it and go, oh, the trans brake's going to yellow or blue, or it's dark blue, and it's really going to like step 5 or some bullshit. So, but we got that working now. 3200. Didn't try to move on the brake. I don't think, did it try to drive at all through the brake? No. Whenever I grabbed the brake, it felt really good. So I think we got a hot rod. I think we can go racing. So I'm excited for JD's arm drop. It's kind of relief. Took a little wind out of our sails a little bit. Been really thrashing on this thing, trying to get it running, and then we got transmission issues. It always sucks. But now we're back in it. So next on the agenda, Hank. I'm gonna try to do some wiring on it, maybe fire it up tomorrow. Tuesday, need to go to Brown & Miller, get some lines for the transmission cooler. We got the converter back to the vet. We're going to be firing on all cylinders. We're going to have all the cars out there, and it is going to be a good time. Comment, like, subscribe, hit the bell, go to lsnasty.com, buy some merch. 5:30 in the morning.
Yep.
Letting the freedom ring. So to the neighbors that's their alarm clock, cool. The neighbors that don't like that,
just get a new house.
just get a new house.